Today, I'm gonna compare two wonderful Jim Beam whiskeys to see which one's the better value. On the left, we have the new Knob Creek store picks coming in at cask strength instead of that 120 that it's been for years. And on the right, we have the new Booker's batch, the newest one, at least the one I could get, the Jerry's batch 2025-03. But this still comes in around $90 to $100, which is kind of expensive, especially compared to this. The single barrel, which still, even at cask strength, comes around $60 to $65, depending on which store you go to. So I'm gonna let you know which one's a better value. Is the Booker still the king? Is still the bourbon that we all chased, that we all loved when we first got into bourbons? Or is it just better to get the Knob Creek single barrel? Well, let's find out together right now. Okay. Oh yeah. Welcome to Whiskey. My name is David. And the Bookers, this has the story, the lore, the beauty. I mean, when we first got into bourbons, this is probably one of the first bottles we all wanted. We all chased out. And it does have a special place in my heart because a Booker's batch did really make me fall in love with bourbons. That made me buy all this and now start a YouTube channel as well. So it's been one of those special bottles for me, but it has lost a lot of its luster. I mean, maybe it's because we have so much more choices now, or because we have all had a taste of it and it's pretty good, but it's nothing special, at least these days. And so, at least here in Southern California, the 2025 batches have been sitting on the shelf and it's been available anytime I want it, which I believe is actually a good thing. This is what we wanted, right? We wanted to have these type of bottles on the shelf that we can get at any time that we want it. And so I believe that's a good thing, but hopefully the quality and the taste is also just as good. And of course, we have the Knob Creek single barrels. These were, when I first got into bourbon, known as one of the best values in bourbon, right? Especially their single barrel picks. Even though they came at 120 proof, they were like $45, $50. And so a lot of people are like, hey, do you want a good, almost cask strength bourbon at a decent price that you can find? Well, find a Knob Creek single barrel. But of course, the last 2, 3, 4 years, it's lost a lot of its luster because there's been a lot of single barrels, a lot more cask strength stuff, especially even at that 50, 60 price range. So Knob Creek just said, you know what, hold my beer. We're gonna make the store picks cask strength now, which kind of makes it much cooler. Now, this is a pick from High Proof up in Fullerton. This one comes in at 126 proof, and all single barrels that I've seen is at least 9 years old. This one is almost 10 years old at 9 months, or 9 years, 10 months. So if you just compare the stats, this one, the Knob Creek, is actually a higher proof than the Booker's, coming in at 124.7. And the age, well, this is a blend, but the youngest barrel is 7 years, 4 months, and 21 days. Again, with this being almost 10 years old, there's a huge age gap as well, but this is $90 to $100, and this again comes in around $60, $65. I believe this is still available at High Proof. So if you think about it, this is older, higher proof, and a single barrel, and comes in at $30 cheaper. So is the story and the lore worth it, or is this just much better tasting? Well, I can't answer any of that by talking, so no more, let's get drinking. Oh, yes. Oh, good pork pops. All right, so these have been sitting here for about 10 minutes, so it should be ready to go. First, I'm gonna start with the Knob Creek single barrel. Again, a store pick from High Proof, coming at 126 proof and almost 10 years. I'm actually kind of excited for this. I hope this is really delicious because the price point is excellent. And let's be honest, if cheaper bourbon is better, well, we all win. So first, the nose. So the nose or the aroma, this is kind of gonna be a weird picture for you, but it's gonna be orange covered peanuts, right? I get the citrus of the orange, but then you do get that little nice peanuts aroma, this nice smell of it. And you know what? It's typical Knob Creek, but it's not as sweet as a normal Knob Creek. But of course, the nose can be mediocre, but if the palate's wonderful, that's all that matters. Cheers, guys. Ooh, Wow. The palate starts off really sweet. Now, I thought being 126 proof, it's gonna come in a little bit hot and I have to get used to it. Nope, it just came on sweet, hot, and ready to go. Man, it was just a caramel punch of flavor. And then I thought I would get a lot more of that roasted peanuts or the Knob Creek, trademark, but I did not actually. I got a little bit more of that orange citrus to balance out that sweetness. And so it really went from sweet to citrus. And so that was really nice in the front palate. And then the mid to the finish is really where it is shines. You get a little bit more of that citrus going down, but then you get that oakiness, the spiciness, the little bit of the oaky goodness, the darkness, this like a good smoked burger in a sense. And it was pleasing. It's really nice. Wow. It doesn't blow your socks off, but you really like it. I mean, I really like it, I guess, in a sense. It's just delicious. It's one of those bourbons where it's just like, wow, what stands out? Sweet, it's spicy, it's a little citrusy, and it has a nice finish. Is there a particular note that I love? Yeah, maybe you can say caramel, but not really. But do I want to keep drinking it? Yes, and that's probably the best compliment I can give any bourbon is the fact that I want to drink it again. All right, now on to the Bookers. My sentimental value, hoping, I don't want to say I'm rooting for this, but hey, again, I fell in love with bourbon, with Bookers, and so you know what? If Bookers wins, that way, I'm not gonna have any qualms about that, all right? So first, the nose. So the nose is nothing like Beam. I would actually never guess this was Bookers or Jim Beam at all. I mean, it has this fresh lemon, almost like those lemon heads, right? It's just super lemony. Wow, I wouldn't even guess it's a bourbon by this. But of course, the nose could be misleading, especially if the palate is wonderful. So let's get right to it. Cheers, guys. Okay, this is a Booker's for sure. So even though the age stated is younger, this one comes in much darker, much more dustier, much more murkier in a sense. It has that dark oakiness. It has that dark chocolate. It has a little bit of darker fruits than the Knob Creek single barrel. Wow, it's really surprising considering, again, the age difference is pretty big, at least stated wise. This seems to have at least some older whiskeys blended in. And then on the third and fourth sips, it just gets better and better, especially in the mid palate and the finish. You get that crazy goodness, the darkness in the front, and then in the mid, you get a little bit more burst of a citrus, right? You get a little bit more of that lemonness, the lemon citrus that I get from the nose. But then on the finish, you get the little bit of the oak spiciness, the oak darkness, the oak sweetness, just everything oaky, but everything dark and everything sweet. Wow, this is good. This is real good. This is probably one of the better batches I had in a long time of Booker's. Probably the best one since the 2024 03 batch. So I guess it's been about 1 year. Wow, very nice. Yeah. Conclusion, dark, sweet, oaky goodness. This is gonna be tough. So I'm gonna go back and forth and compare these two to let you know which one is the buy. Which one is the better buy at their price points. Now, I had to take about 15 minutes to go back and forth to figure out which one is the better buy at their price points. In a vacuum, the Booker's is the better tasting bourbon. The darkness, the oakiness is just a little bit better than the Knob Creek, but we don't live in a vacuum. We live in a world where dollars and cents make a huge difference, right? This coming in at $60, $65. This coming in at $90 to $100, right? So that's $30 to $35 more dollars. And that's a lot of money if you compare it just side by side. I mean, that's basically 50% of the cost of this into this. And so once I factor in the cost, once I factor in the money, which one is the better buy? My answer is the Booker's Jerry's Badge 2025-03. I'll be honest with you, going in, I didn't think this would win. I actually thought, because I had a taste of this at high proof, and that's why I bought it. And I thought for sure this was gonna win, especially with the price point, right? I thought with it being $30 to $35 cheaper, there's no way this Booker's would beat this. But especially when I tasted it individually, I was like, all right, the Knob Creek's gonna win. But then when I went back and forth, when I had this, then this, then this, then this, and back and forth, you could tell this one's a lot more younger. And that's a weird way to put it because this is technically older, but this is where you could tell that age is not the end all be all of whiskey barrels or whatever whiskey or bourbon taste in general. This had a little bit more of that stinginess, that alcohol, how to say it, just that roughness, the toughness. It just burned more. While this, being similar proof, was much more smoother, much more darker, much more sweeter, just much more of a bourbon. And it just so much better. I was actually really surprised. I mean, it's one of those ones where you could tell it's a special bourbon. And I know Booker's have lost a lot of its luster. There's 4 batches a year. It's $90 to $100, so you have to commit $400 a year to buy all batches, and that's a lot. And most people don't even drink 4 bottles a year, right? And so it's really hard to just keep buying Bookers and Bookers and Bookers over and over again. So I totally understand if you want to buy some, just cherry pick some good batches, and that's totally fine. If you want to do that, this 2025-03 is a good one to get. So if you haven't bought a batch of Bookers for a while, especially in 2025, look for this one. This is fantastic. Now, this is no slouch. This is a really good value at $60, $65. I have no regrets about it. It's an absolutely great Knob Creek single barrel. But Booker's, man, there's a reason why it's Booker's. There's a reason why this is one of the best, basically one of the most famous bourbons in all of land and worldwide, right? If I go to Korea, they want to know about Booker's. If I go to Europe, they want to know about Booker's. Booker's is famous for a reason. And today, with this batch, they show me why. So leave in the comments, have you had a Booker's recently? And if you have, did you like it or were you disappointed? And have you had any of the new Knob Creek single barrels at Cask? And if so, did you like them? Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time.